Ishikawa continues. Getting strapped in. Completely agree with Craig Fulton's assessment. India just need to keep doing what they have been doing. They've not conceded any penalty corners, haven't conceded a lot of circle penetrations either. Mandeep, he's gotten better and better as the tournament has progressed. Hardik has been excellent throughout, as he has been for a number of years now actually in India's midfield. Jarmanpreet. Good tackle by Sarentanaka. Out of slapping that in first time, Jarmanpreet. Harman comes across to Amit Rohidas. Vivek. Hardik looks to eliminate Manabu Yamashita. Will keep possession, India.
Yes, stop.
Sumit. Amit Rohidas. Good deception. Hardik finds Mandeep. Mandeep has received that well. This is a chance. Akashdeep can't bury that. Looked to get a touch before he unleashed that shot towards goal, but by then I think it was too late. The chance was gone. Could have gone first time. Mandeep receives that again, but this time Masaki Hoashi is very strong. Let's have a look at that chance again. Good ball by Hardik. Excellent receiving by Mandeep. Turns, plays that ball as he should across the face of goal. Went for a touch, Akashdeep. Has got a goal. The opening goal today for India, if you're just joining us, was scored by Akashdeep Singh. Kawahara for Japan. Kawahara. Takuma Niwa. Shota Yamada looks for the aerial. This could be very lucky there. Could have been a penalty corner. The aerial was coming in, and Shamsher was backing into the Japanese player. Sarentanaka. It's gone over the baseline.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
First real opportunity then for India in this second half. Well, Akashdeep's way. Set himself up there, no doubt about it, with that touch. But the second touch, there's no control on it. Sumit slaps it wide to Harmanpreet. It's said in the match against Korea that is the only time India was seen playing the double pivot in midfield. But since then, they have switched to the single. In the last match against Pakistan and today, it's Hardik who is just sitting in front of the back four, ready to receive that pass and recycle it. Since he's gone up front, Vivek, who's on the ball right now, drops deep. But India has had two attacking midfielders and one deep-lying midfielder. Good tackle by Kaito Tanaka. Ahmed cannot receive that. Those are not easy passes to receive. We've been saying that throughout the tournament. They come spinning at you at great speed. You really need to help your teammate by playing a flat pass on his forehand.
That's exactly what Craig Fulton was referring to a little while earlier. He said India needed to play
Thank you. Good.
well behind the lines. He was relieved. He did manage to fish out his phone and capture the festivities during the halftime mark, but he really had to speak up. The crowd was at its frenzied best, as you would imagine, with India sitting on a 3-0 advantage. But he does know that the job is not done. Japan can come back, as can any other team in a sport like this.
I've seen Japan come back from worse.
Good, Shani. Excellent. See what I mean?
Asian Games finals against Malaysia, they were all over the place. They reset, reorganized, and went on to win that. The match against India and Dhaka as well, they were trailing. Went on to beat India. It's never over until it's over. Hardik, surrounded by Japanese players, manages to keep possession. That is what he's so adept at doing. Amit Rohidas. Jugraj. You wonder whether he'll get an opportunity if India get a penalty corner. Gurjant cuts in, finds Manpreet. He has been outstanding today for India in midfield.
I mean, the score sheet would read Mandeep Singh, would credit him with the goal, but that was all Manpreet. An absolutely blistering run. Japan, on the other hand, have a worrying sign as well, because Genki Mitani was seen hobbling off, and I saw him a little while earlier. While he was emerging from the change room, he was struggling. He still had to be held up. India make the circle entry. A swipe, a shot at the goal by the Indian captain, Harmanpreet. I beg your pardon, it's Amit Lohidas. Harmanpreet's waiting for an entry. Here's another opportunity, another circle entry. This time goes for the backhander. Gurjant on this occasion.
You have to give credit here to Takashi Yoshikawa. His positioning on both those attempts that India have taken was spot on. First, the attempt by Amit Rohidas, and then the attempt by Gurjant. Gurjant's attempt was a tough one. It was a straight stick backhander. That's a very difficult skill to execute. This was the first chance. Amit Rohidas did very well to set himself up, and then look at this chance by Gurjant. It's a straight stick backhander. That is a very difficult skill to execute. He connected extremely well, but Takashi Yoshikawa was not to be beaten. He denied India on both those occasions.
Red ball, red ball, red ball.
Japan now pulling a leaf out of India's playbook, trying to play those aerial balls. Craig Fulton, rest assured, he is not going to let up. He is not going to switch off. But Japan have a huge arigato to say to Takashi Yoshikawa. He's back under the bar, as they so often do. They keep switching the goalkeepers for every quarter.
Manpreet is now the single pivot, with Shamsher and Neelkantha ready to bomb on in front of him. Of course, when he goes up front, one of those two have to sit behind, just like now that Neelkantha Sharma is doing. India will keep possession. Neelkantha Sharma, it is now. Just looked up Neelkantha Sharma at Yosekyu, asking the question, was the Japanese defender 5 meters? Yes, he was. No problems there. But just talking about the Indian structure, and I've got messages during the course of the tournament from observers who have been watching Indian hockey and are involved in Indian hockey for a very long time, Arun, and they have been, I have to use my words carefully, they have been very happy with what they've seen defensive structure-wise from India. And it really has been a good show defensively from India. The last game against Pakistan was a clean sheet. Not a lot conceded so far against Japan in terms of circle entries, in terms of penalty corners. Look at the difference in circle penetrations. India have more than 3 times the number that Japan has had. And the work that Craig Fulton has been putting in on the training ground is coming off. What a goal that is! That is absolutely amazing from Sumit. That is the best of Indian hockey on display. Skill of the highest level, imagination of the highest order, and execution that will make you stand up and applaud. Manpreet, instrumental once again, but after that, just look at this and enjoy. First, that pass from Manpreet, cuts in, and how about that? That is sublime. For me, right up there as goal of the tournament.
The good thing for the Indian fans is that it's coming in from different quarters. There was Manpreet, who was instrumental in the previous goal. There was Manpreet once again in the thick of things, but Sumit, outstanding, ran behind the lines, got the ball, stayed nerveless right till the end, had ice water flowing in his veins. India once again looking to attack, this time down the middle.
Neelkanta Sharma turns, keeps possession. So difficult to contain him. He's got a burst on him. His acceleration is excellent. He has an engine that doesn't run out of fuel. He can pick a pass. Really is the complete midfielder. Never afraid of the dirty work. Puts in the hard yards. Manpreet Singh, another one of those Indian midfielders who doesn't stop running. Shamsher has Harmanpreet to his left. India are controlling this tie now completely. Japan, they need something to hold on to. They need something to believe. Harmanpreet Singh. Yosek couldn't see that. Sean Rappaport helps him out. It will be India's possession. Harmanpreet. Ball's traveled 5 meters. Japan have won it. Seren Tanaka doing his defensive work. Taiki Takade. Let's have a look at that goal again. Manpreet, first of all, finds this pass, cuts open the Japanese deep defense, and then Sumit beats one Japanese defender, and you just have to applaud that moment of magic from Sumit. Masaki Ohashi. It's gone out of play, and India will build again.
That's fine. He's not pressing anymore. You can go.
Harmanpreet. Hardik. Sumit. He's getting a lot of playing time today. Rightly so. Deservedly so. Akashdeep. Runs with the ball. Finds Hardik. Hardik is in front of Yuma Nagai. Gets the circle entry. Looks to unleash the shot. Is not able to do so. Good defense by Japan. Looking to launch a counter-attack of their own. They've got the right man on the ball, Kose Kawabe. Amit Rohidas did well to hold up Kaito Tanaka, but has conceded possession.
I think for the longest time, there were followers of Indian hockey that bemoaned the lack of skill with the advent of the synthetic turf, the AstroTurf early on, where India dominated during their reign when they notched up a rich haul of 8 gold medals. There was a sense of panic that the skill had gone away, but now India seemed to have harmonized a combination of both skill and fitness. Great run in once again, making the circle entry. An opportunity for Mandeep. I beg your pardon, it's Akashdeep.
Did not get his spin right, Mandeep, and that is where the attack lost a second. And in international hockey at the highest level, you lose that second and the attack is over. At this pass, this is when Mandeep tried to shift it. This spin, he could not get the ball in control. And when you've lost that spin, the attack is gone. Akashdeep tried to get the shot away, but was tackled successfully.
Just coming back on the transition period for India, I mean, it was under Graham Reid, of course, that India managed to break the Olympic medal drought. Manpreet, what a player he has been. And it was under his leadership that India won the bronze medal at the Tokyo Olympics. How do you compare Craig Fulton's style as opposed to Graham Reid, Siddharth?
There's one direct comparison to be made, and that is Craig Fulton's attention to detail to India's defensive structure. The messages or the messaging that is coming out of the Indian national setup is they're doing a lot of work on plugging those gaps in defense. There is an added emphasis on what we call in hockey counter control. If you've lost the ball in attack, how fast can you get it back? What is your structure when you've lost the ball? That is what the Indian team is working on all the time. Jugraj, this could be number 5. It's not, because Japan have defended well with Takashi Yoshikawa. Hardik. And of course, I'm not saying that we did not work hard in defense when Graham Reed was the coach. I'm not saying that at all. But I think the work being done is much more on the defensive structure than anything else that India is doing in training, at least right now. And you can see that paying off. Akashdeep. India played an exciting attacking brand of hockey under Graham Reed. Goals aplenty. Karthi Selvam, can he bring this down? He cannot. It could be the last action of that third quarter. In Japan, by the time they build, I think they will run out of time. The hooter will go as it has. Ryomauka, before he could get that down, the third quarter has come to an end. A moment of brilliance, a brilliant combination between Manpreet and Sumit gave India the only goal of that third quarter, which for me was the goal of the match so far, possibly the goal of the tournament. Because of that goal, India at the end of the third are leading Japan by 4-0.
The score sheet would say that there was just one more goal added to the 3-0 advantage that India was sitting on, but India threatened. India threatened to pulverize Japan at every opportunity. There was that circle entry. Another shot at goal by Amit Lohidas. There's a backhander from Gurjan. And there were plenty of pieces of brilliance. Manpreet once again into the act. And that was complemented beautifully by Sumit, who opened the defensive ranks, bit Shota Yamada, ran around the back line and deftly bunted one in. India completely dominated possession. There was sustained attack and constant invasion of the striking circle. Japan struggled. They badly held possession for pockets of seconds. It was India all the way, and the fans can afford to do more than a relaxed jig. And PR Srijesh, in his 300th appearance in an India shirt, is back under the bar. He and Krishan Bahadur Pathak switch places every quarter, as do the Japanese goalkeepers. Takashi Yoshikawa, of course, continues to keep Japan in this fourth and final quarter. This is when it heats up. These last 15 minutes are all that Japan have to break India open, to first equalize and then try to score one over India. But India are on a rampage. India have been absolutely at their marauding best so far, not just in tonight's game but throughout the tournament. Japan was one such team that did manage to tie down India to an extent during the round robin phase, but this is a completely different beast altogether. India once again making that incisive run. It's that man, the former India captain, Manpreet, holding great sway over the midfield, immaculate control, and he's held the ball on a string into the 23-meter mark, looking to gain the circle entry. Another Japanese player has gone down injured. That must be an impact injury. Yeah, it is Takuma Niwa, one of Japan's most promising youngsters. One on the knee. Good to see that he's back on his feet again.
Again, Kimitani, you mentioned him. He took Harmanpreet's slap straight on his ankle. That's not a pleasant experience at all. Had to go out out at half-time to take treatment. Genki Mitani. And can't afford any more injuries. Good turn. Neelkanta Sharma. Can he pick a pass? Manpreet joins up in attack. Not a position you often see him in. Charen Tanaka. Japan have 1 quarter to turn this around. Kawahara leaves it to Takuma Niwa. What a game he's having today. This semi-final. Stupendous work by him.
His wife and child who are in the stands will certainly be soaking every minute of it. They have been there every single match to cheer him on, the former India captain Manpreet. He's known for his jovial presence off the pitch, known to be a laid-back, relaxed customer who can share a joke or two. And sure enough, he was swapping a joke or two as the Indian team was emerging out of the dugout. But when it comes to business on the pitch, Manpreet has really put the skids on the Japanese. He's been brilliant.
Aroni is closing in on 400 caps for India. And he's closing in on a 4th Olympic Games. You don't have that sort of a career unless you have top-notch work ethic.
Trying to stay focused.
You're dedicated to your craft. Chance for India. Gurjant can't control that, but has won the foul. The servant for Indian hockey, Manpreet Singh, has been in the Indian midfield for over a decade now. This is a chance. Chance still on. What a save that is. Double save. And then a foul came before India put that in goal. Outstanding work by the Japanese goalkeeper.
It's once again that man, Takashi Yoshikawa. Brilliant, brilliant goalkeeping. And under immense pressure, there was that one. And the other one, there were 2 great saves. And by the time the whistle had gone up, Sukhjit had no shout at the goal. The problematic thing for Japan, of course, that they haven't been able to make a circle penetration. I can't remember more than one in the third quarter, if at all there were one. Japan finally in possession of the ball, looking to attack through the right, making the circle entry. And once again losing the ball as soon as they had won it. Gurjant doing the mopping up.
Vivek thinks of playing it first time, thinks the better of it.
Craig Fulton, you spoke about him, a former South African international himself, and he and his wife Natalie, who was a player herself, have this unique distinction of the first instance of a couple representing the country in the same Olympics. That was the Athens Olympics in 2004. Natalie, of course, is also present along with Craig Fulton. Craig's brother, Grant Fulton, was also a South Africa international. He must be a policeman, though Craig doesn't betray too much emotion. A rare miss there. A rare blip from the Indians.
Raj just overran that pass. Should have stayed his ground. Vivek, Mandeep taking instructions before they come back on. Again, for me, the most impressive thing about India's performance so far, with just over 9:30 to go on the clock, is how well their structure has been in defense. They've really not conceded much.
It's ironic because Mohammad Saqlain had actually made a point, but before that there is another circle entry. Karthi Selvam, it's a local boy. And that's another goal for India as they go 9-0 up and want an icing on the cake. It's the man from Ariyalur, Tamil Nadu. The first player from Tamil Nadu to turn up in an India shirt in well over a decade, Karthi Selvam. Usually the man with the assist is assisted with a good ball and he punts it in. Oh yeah, that's cause for celebration, all right.
as it should be. Harmanpreet Singh with his trademark 50-meter aerial right behind the Japanese defensive lines. And once Karthik got that pass from Sukhjit, it's his assist. Unselfishly, I have to say this, unselfishly finds Karthik Selvam. He could have done this himself. He could have taken an attempt himself. He found himself 1v1 against the goalkeeper. And when a striker is in that position, Arun, you don't fault him for taking a shot on. Unselfishly finds Karthik Selvam. Took a second, composed himself, and gets on the score sheet once again. Karthik Selvam, much to the delight of this crowd here, this packed crowd here, capacity crowd here at the Mayor Radhakrishnan Stadium in Chennai.
You're absolutely spot on, Siddharth. Great point to make. And that's another hallmark of this Indian side. They've all played for one another. It reminds me of the line from Chak De India, the famous Hindi film on hockey, where the coach exhorts his players to play for one another and play for the team. And if they have any reserve of energy left unto them, play for themselves. And this Indian team is proving to be an epitome of that. Another circle entry made. Sukhjit again threatening to make that diabolical pass. Japan are all at sea. They are scurrying for cover and you can't fault them. This is an Indian team on a juggernaut. How often have Indian fans waited to say that? Harmanpreet supplying that 50-meter aerial, Sukhjit trapping it to perfection, Karthi putting it in, an exemplification of team effort if any.
Shota Yamada. Japan looking for something, looking to build one attack which will give them penalty corner, which will get players such as Kosei Kawabe in goal scoring positions, but it's just not worked for them. India have had a plan, they have executed that plan perfectly. Ryoma looking for penetration, we've hardly mentioned him. Yuma Nagai takes an attempt, it's not an attempt on target. We marked him out as one of the dangerous Japanese players in the forward line, but he's not had an impact today. Takuma Niwa has done well, and that has caught Seren Tanaka's foot. No review for Japan. They have a review. What I meant is they've not taken it. Amit Rohidas, Harmanpreet Singh again. Not just a goal, but so much more in his performance. Those aerials, those passes, absolutely brilliant. Neelkanta Sharma. Short aerial to find Vivek. Vivek finds Neelkanta Sharma. Hardik was in a good space. Still Hardik. Looks for penetration. No foul. Taiki Takade has done so well for Japan. Unfortunately, the pass to Seren Tanaka is not measured. India will recycle the ball.
You spoke of counter control just a short while earlier. India have done that and more. What's very heartening to see, if you're an Indian supporter, is that India have not let up. The scoreline doesn't bear any reflection on their approach. Their modus operandi has remained the same. They've maintained their defensive structure. They've gone back, they've regrouped whenever Japan have showed a semblance of attack.
Great point, Arun, and I think that is a hallmark of the Graham Reid era. I think that is something he absolutely inculcated in his team, in this group of players. Doesn't matter who you're playing, doesn't matter what the scoreline is, go searching for the next goal. That is a big change that he did introduce in this group, and you can still see that imprint on the team and their mentality.
The other point that I want to touch upon is, granted that the captaincy in a sport like hockey is often ceremonial, but Harmanpreet has led from the front by virtue of his sheer performance. But I also want to just get your thoughts on what Harmanpreet's contribution also has been as a leader, as a standalone leader in itself.
He always was a leader. He always was an important voice in the dressing room. Harmanpreet, even before he got the armband, he was part of the leadership group, And he is someone who not only leads by example, but he can lead
Thank you, that's fine.
by words as well. He can inspire others in the team. Most importantly, he's not only been playing well, but for a while now, he has kept this group together, especially the defense. Harmanpreet, and slightly disagree there with you, Arun, that the captain in a team plays a huge role. For me, it's pivotal who the leader of the group is. My mind goes back to, of course, some of the great captains of the last decade. Mark Knowles for Australia, Moritz Puste for Germany. They were big characters.
Great point, Siddharth. Have to agree with you. India did have inspirational captains like Dhanraj Pillai in the past as well.
It's inside, yeah, good.
Japan looking to make a breach. They haven't had too much
11 and
success
2?
with that.
That's fine.
Japan coming in. But once again, India defending deep. They have enough numbers behind the line, and Japan have managed to find the going tough all through. It's not a reflection of how the tournament has been, of course. Japan finished as the runners-up in the last edition of the Hero Asian Champions Trophy. But Craig Fulton, I asked him after the completion of the previous match if he was satisfied. He thought for a moment and said, well, not satisfied, but relieved, yes.
Blue and 2 red holding each other.
I think that's as far as he would go, and it's something that the Indian public
2 of them are near each other again.
and fans of the Indian hockey team will not complain. It's a lost cause now for Japan. It's a fair shout to say that. Stranger things have happened in the sport, admittedly, but Japan really don't seem to come back from this. Harmanpreet, he's also been another unsung hero. Tracking forward.
Okay, left, so to me left.
Yeah, no problem.
India have kept 2 clean sheets, and they were both high-scoring wins. A final triumph over Malaysia and a 4-0 hammering of Pakistan. This looks good for another clean sheet. But India are pressing ahead with Shamsher looking to make the circle penetration. He has. There's Karthi Selvam who's not able to get a deflection. Sukhjit too cannot get any stick on that, but India still in with the possession. India will want to finish with as many goals as they potentially can.
Good.
Thank you, Raj. Yeah, enough.
And who would fault them for ambition? The 8,200 plus crowd at the Mayor Radhakrishnan Stadium are absolutely soaking the action in. The victory looks a foregone conclusion for India with less than a minute to go. The only question remains, can they add more spice to the glory with a few more goals? Oh, another circle penetration is attempted. Karthi Selvam, the local boy, has also managed to delight the crowd. He spoke earlier of how his parents have been asking him when he would score a goal. He did once already in the tournament. He's come up with some fabulous assists. He's an integral part of this young side. And so has been this man on the screen, Sukhjit, who very selflessly passed the ball around to Karthi a little while earlier. Less than 10 seconds now on the clock. The crowd knows it. 8,200 plus voices rise up in unison. And the final hoota offers the decisive confirmation. India have made the finals of the Hero Asian Champions Trophy, and they did it in some style as they complete a 5-0 decimation of Japan. This has been the 3rd clean sheet, and that man Manpreet was instrumental. The The match was played in great spirit. All tournament has been played with great spirit and character. Harmanpreet, the captain, once again leading from the front. He notched up a penalty corner goal for himself. Srijesh, his 300th appearance in an India shirt has been capped off in some style. The crowd that has stayed back for this semi-final encounter has been treated to a veritable display of Indian riches. And that's the score line. The final confirmation, India hammering Japan, final to make the finals of the Hero Asian Champions Trophy. Well, it was all India right from the get-go. Japan barely had a chance or two. India kept pegging away. And the first goal, fittingly, came via a field goal because penalty corners have often been India's succor. But this time, the crumb of comfort was offered by a field goal. But that wasn't where they stopped. Once again, it's that man, the Indian captain Harmanpreet, stepped up, unleashed that little drag flick and took India 2-0 up. And India continued to pump away. This was a piece of magic from Manpreet at the end of the third quarter. The scoreline would say Mandeep scored the goal. It was Manpreet, however, all the way. And Manpreet once again was instrumental in pivoting the midfield. They played with a single pivot today, and this was another brilliant run, capped off by a sublime finish by Sumit. Definitely one of the goals of the tournament, if not the goal of the tournament. As India, 10 minutes into the fourth quarter, marched on to a final lead. They continued to amass penetrations into the circle all through the fourth and the final quarter, and then there was this 50-meter silken aerial ball that very selflessly Sukhjit played into Karthi Selvam, who just had to beat one defender and slot the ball in. India were 5-0 up. There were a few more opportunities, with something that Craig Fulton will dwell upon. No contest. India had more than thrice the number of circle penetrations that Japan managed. Better possession, better penalty corner conversions.